Hey everyone, my name's Stan. I'm a photographer and director at Label 428. Today I'm diving into a test for the Luminar Neo AI photo editing software. It's said to be a total game changer with pretty amazing features that are very useful to photographers. So let's get to it. All right, so I have 6 images here. Portrait, so I've never seen any of this. So where do I edit? All right, let's check this out. All right, so let's see what I can do here. Develop. All right. So that's cool, it's pretty easy, kind of standard like every other software exposure. Smart contrast, let's see what it does when I bring it all the way down. Okay, gets rid of all of our contrast. And if I bring it up, it adds a nice amount of contrast there. This image is already edited, so these features might look exaggerated, but I'm kind of curious on how the highlight slider is going to work here, just because I do see that there are some highlights that go over, and it's done a pretty good job lowering down the highlights, which is cool. Shadows, up and down the shadows, kind of basic stuff here. Okay, so let's get out of the develop panel and let's use erase. All right, so I'm guessing, yep, this is kind of like using the clone stamp in Photoshop. Let's see if I can get rid of this basketball net here. And I'm going to select the shadow, not only the net, because it'd be weird if we got rid of the net and the shadow was still there. So I can see this quick mask here. Let's click erase and see what happens. All right, so it got rid of it, but it just erased it. So it wasn't able to fill in the door frame at the top here, and it just got rid of it. So I can see this working really well on, let's say, this area. So let's try doing that there. So let's clear or restore. All right, so maybe this one. All right, there we go. We got our basketball net back. And let's just try it out here instead. I think this is gonna work a lot easier. And I feel like this erase tool will work really well on this area, just because there's no lines. It's pretty clean, so let's see what happens. All right, let's do that. So it's got it masked, and we're gonna click erase. It did a pretty good job, got rid of most of it. So let's just erase that part. And well, there you go. It seems to have gotten rid of most of it. Let's zoom in to 100%. And oh, the space button works just like in Photoshop where you can move things around. That's great. And yeah, it did an okay job. I kind of wished it would have erased this completely since this is a solid white background. But maybe it's the contrast, or maybe it's the shadows here that are giving it some trouble. All right, let's restore that. And let's go on to another image. So I kind of want to see what's going to happen with this product image here. I shot this product image right out of the camera. Luminar Neo did a base adjustment, so that's nice. It gave some contrast and some color to it. The raw image looks much more dreary than this one. This one's a little bit more cheerful, brighter colors, more contrast. So let's go back to the edit. So I'm kind of getting used to it now. All my features are at the top of the page or on the right side of the page. And I'm kind of getting used to just pressing all the buttons and moving all the sliders on the side here. So what should we do here? Let's give some contrast. So let's go to develop and let's give it some smart contrast. And that's pretty cool. And I gotta boost the shadows up a little bit. And that's pretty cool. So let's see what before and after looked like. All right, so now, before, you can kind of see the split here. It's more saturated, a little bit brighter, so that's pretty cool. Let's try the enhance feature, see what it does right out of the box. Okay, so it gives me some contrast. Pretty cool. Let's go to, oh, relight. That'd be kind of cool to try this out. So this is brightness near, so on the bottom there. And then I can adjust the brightness in the front of the image, which is pretty cool because when you shoot one of these images, you might not light everything evenly. So you see here that I kind of left this in the shadow. There might have been even a board here that's kind of bouncing back some light, which I can see. Now let's see if I can adjust the brightness in the far end here too. I mean, this is pretty cool. Right away, like I can add a pretty amazing amount of brightness and, you know, brighten up the entire image. So it's starting to look pretty good. And the depth here, what does this do? So I guess it changes how close and how far it makes adjustments here. So it's kind of doing something at the bottom there. Yeah, it's kind of moving from the front to the back now. I'll just leave it at 50 because I want to leave it in the middle. Let's see if we can edit another image. All right, let's try this portrait. And we're going to the edit, and we're just going to enhance, just using the enhance tool, which is pretty cool. It ups all the shadow areas, and it lowers all of the super highlighted areas, which is very useful. Usually have to do that by hand with either curves or, you know, brushing things in. Develop, let's give it some contrast, pretty good. And let's do, what does matte do? Let's see what that does. All right, it just does a contrast. What does glow do? All right, see what happens here. Oh, puts everything out. I mean, that could be useful with like a portrait if you shot and the resolution's really too high and everything's in focus. Let's use some of the portrait tools here. So face AI, face light. Let's check this out. So it's only affecting the light on the face, which is great. It's just masking everything out. It's letting me reduce those shadows. Slim face, I kind of feel like I know what it's gonna do. Let's see what it does. Just pretty good, pretty good. It masks the face and gets everything lower and slims it down quite a bit. So, but I probably wouldn't use this tool. And let's reset that. So pretty powerful features, like you can select the eyes and you can change them to whatever you want. So blue, brown, it's pretty neat. And it does this pretty effortlessly too. So let's see if we can zoom in here so we can see this better. All right, so let's check this out. And it enhances the eyes too, so it's pretty cool. So this is the before, and then, you know, if you want the enhanced blue, that's what it looks like. The green, so that's pretty cool. Like you could just adjust things like small details, like eye color pretty quickly. So that's nice, that's great. All right, skin. So this will probably do some blurring, apply some blurring, yep. And that's useful. Let's see what else. High key, this looks interesting. So it kind of gives this like filtered, washed out look. Pretty cool. It almost turns into like a black and white or like a sepia toned image here. All right, and let's go back to regular, fit screen. All right, and now we're gonna do our last photo here. So it did the conversion. Let's go to the crop tool so we can rotate it. Very nice. This beautiful grilled cheese sandwich. Exposure and smart contrast again. We bring down the highlights because they're kind of clipping. Bring up the shadows a tiny bit. Although I do want this to remain as a moody image, so I'm not going to add too many shadows back. And let's go to the color, add some vibrance and some saturation. And let's see if I can play with the HSL here. So let's get rid of some of the yellow saturation, and look at that. Add some saturation back. So what I like to do is oversaturate, and I can kind of see that the yellows are starting to appear too vibrant. So I'll oversaturate, and then I'll go into the this panel, and I'll bring down the yellows, but all the other colors will stay highly saturated. So we can even bring down the reds just a little bit because I think they're a little bit too hot. There, awesome. That was the adjustment, and let's do before and after here. So as you can see, it's quite a big difference from the raw image to the fully colored image. So you can see that, and then you can see it in the split view here. And let's see if we can clean up some things on the bottom here that were left in. So we have a bunch of choices here. We can either crop it out, which is one of the fastest ways, and just crop that out like that, or we could use like the erase tool and let's go over here and use the erase tool in the bottom section. Okay, let's try that again, and let's zoom into 50% and use the erase tool down here to get rid of this scratch and this other container that we left in. So let's see if this works, and there it goes like that. I'm going to do this in 2 passes because it's usually more successful that way, and I can erase as many times as I want, which is great. create a bigger brush, get rid of this thing at the bottom, and boom, voila, it should be pretty good. And we just have to finesse it a little bit. Okay, maybe not. And maybe we'll use the clone tool here, see how that works. That's pretty good. And I will take that any day. That's pretty good. And yeah, you could spend a little bit more time on it if you wanted to, but that did a pretty good job pretty quickly. So, and I think we're done here. So this is after all of our adjustments, and so the before and the after. So you did a really good job. Wow, Luminar Neo has some pretty powerful features. The sliders are a great way to dial in effects, and the interface is pretty intuitive. I'll definitely try it out in my workflow, and I can see it saving me a lot of time with some tedious tasks in editing. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you'd like to see more of these types of videos in the future, and I'll see you in the next one.